Now, number one, the biggest way and the most effective way to negotiate with a college coach when it comes to their lens is the fear of actually, again, losing you, the student athlete, to another college program. Okay, typically, when a student athlete presents to a college coach, maybe a couple different scholarship offers from other schools, that can be a heavy negotiating factor because now that college coach may be competing with those other schools a little bit. Just like athletes compete against other athletes for scholarships, college coaches compete against other college coaches to give out scholarships and to attain that best student athlete to continuously build that championship roster. So when it comes to that athlete looking to maybe negotiate, increase that scholarship dollar a little bit more, if you come to that college coach presenting that coach with a couple other schools where you've actually received scholarship offers from, that can hold a lot of weight for that college coach because now that college coach is faced with, hey, do I let this athlete go elsewhere, maybe one of our competitors, or do I up the ante a little bit? Do I up that scholarship offer a little bit to this athlete to make sure that he or she comes to my program? So that I would say is the biggest leveraging point for a student athlete when it comes to negotiating a scholarship.
Yeah, it really depends on how badly does that coach want you, right? If that coach doesn't want you, they're not going to offer you scholarship, right? This is a business for a college coach. They've got to, budget the scholarship money that they have available. Scholarships aren't growing on trees for these coaches. If they only have, 4.5 scholarships for their entire program and maybe only one scholarship available for your class, you've got to put yourself in the best position. So again, academically, athletically, making sure that you're checking the boxes that college coaches are looking for. But also in the recruiting process, money can become available a little bit later on in the process. If a kid transfers, a kid leaves school, scholarship money could become available that maybe wasn't necessarily planned in that coach's budget for the next year. So again, that's where having options and putting yourself in a position where you can come back to that coach and say, hey, coach, I really like your school. Right now, though, I do have another offer from a program that's willing to give me half of my education paid for. Right now, you guys are offering 30%. Is there anything more that you can do to help with the financial aspect of the scholarship process? So think about it as a job search, right? You're not just going to apply to one job and then try to leverage it. If you have different options as a future employee, you can play the game a little bit because, again, college coaches are absolutely playing the game. They're trying to get a student athlete on their roster for as little scholarship money as it's going to cost them. So if there's not other options and the only option you have is a 20% scholarship from that coach doesn't have a huge need to give you more money to bring you onto their program. So again, a lot of negotiating, a lot of leveraging, a lot of playing the game when it comes to scholarship for college coaches and certainly for student athletes as well. And Philip, the initial thought is when you first have that conversation with a coach, you want to jump right ahead. Are you going to offer me a scholarship? Are you going to, how much are you going to give me? Am I going to get a scholarship to come to your program? But as we talk about, the recruiting process is a process for a reason, and there are a lot of things that need to happen. So typically that first conversation that you have with a college coach, scholarship probably isn't going to come up unless that coach is really evaluated, they've seen you, and at that point they really want you. But typically there's a little bit of gamemanship to that before the scholarship offer comes.
Absolutely. And one way in which, or I'll say the last way in which is most popular, and it serves as a big negotiating tool for student athletes when the timing presents, is if a student athlete gets significantly better over time to a college coach, and that college coach has no choice but maybe to up the ante when it comes to that scholarship dollar. And typically when we see this, it's maybe when the scholarship offer verbally goes out early, maybe it goes out sophomore year, for example. Then over the course of sophomore year and junior year, maybe you have a couple breakout seasons as a student athlete. When this happens, there may be a leveraging point where you can go to that coach and actually be a little bit more value to that coach and actually ask for maybe a little bit more of a percentage. Now, in that same boat, something that's a little bit more rare is when a student athlete can maybe pay attention to that college roster. If you've been communicating with a coach that initially, offered you some kind of scholarship or is in talks of offering you some kind of scholarship, communicate with them, watch out for the roster. And if you play a certain position, if you fill a certain role on a team and that actual college program has a student athlete graduating, you may be a little bit more value to that team, to that program. Hence, you may be able to ask, for a little bit more of a percentage when it comes to that scholarship dollar. That may take you from 40% to 50%, so on and so forth. But I will note that this is a little bit more rare when it comes to the negotiating factors of a student athlete.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Click the logo to subscribe to our channel and check out all the other videos on our page for all things recruiting.